In the burning heart of northern Tanzania, there is a lake that looks like a wound in the earth. A lake that glows red under the sun, as if it has been filled with blood instead of water. Its surface is silent, still and glassy, but nothing about this silence is gentle. This is Lake Natron, a place where life does not simply end. It halts, it hardens, it is claimed. The air above the lake wavers with heat. The ground around it is sharp, dry and cracked like old bone. And the water is something else entirely. It can reach 60 degrees Celsius. Its pH is so caustic, it can burn skin. Touch it long enough, and flesh breaks down. Not suddenly, slowly, patiently, as if the lake has time to wait. Volcanic ash from Oldoinyo Lengai, the mountain of God, pours into this basin year after year. That ash dissolves into the water and turns it into a chemical bath of sodium carbonate and alkaline salts. This mixture is called natron, and it is the reason the lake behaves like a living preservation chamber. Animals that fall into the lake do not rot. They do not disappear. They are kept. Their bodies dry, their wings stiffen, minerals coat their feathers and eyes. Every detail, every lash, every tendon, every expression of fear or calm or confusion remains carved in perfect shape. A final moment turned into sculpture. The shoreline is scattered with these forms, stone-like remains, silent witnesses, creatures who look as though they could rise and fly, but will never move again. Yet, as horrifying as that is, the lake is not empty. It is not dead. It is alive in its own way. Flamingos, thousands, sometimes millions, come here to breed. Their pale bodies gather on the red water like drifting embers. They are drawn to this place because the very danger that kills others protects them. Predators will not follow them into the alkaline shallows. The lake is a weapon the flamingos have learned to wield. Their skin, their legs, even their beaks have evolved to survive this chemistry. They eat the microscopic red organisms that thrive in the salt, and those pigments dye their feathers pink. Their color is born from the lake's poison. But just because they live here does not mean they are safe. A misstep, a shift in water level, a sudden exhaustion during landing, a moment of weakness, and the lake claims them too. Beautiful creatures fossilized in a gesture of escape. And then there is the human connection, one that reaches back thousands of years. The mineral mixture in this lake, this natron, was used in ancient Egypt to preserve the dead. It dried bodies, drew out every trace of moisture, and prevented decay. The exact same process that freezes birds in time on the shores of Lake Natron once protected pharaohs, priests and kings in their tombs. This lake performs mummification naturally, continuously, without ritual or reverence. Even today, the lake is harvested for its salt. Workers walk the mineral flats under a blinding sun, carving blocks of crystallized sodium carbonate from the ground. Some of it becomes livestock salt, some becomes industrial material, and some of it goes much farther than anyone here will ever see. It is processed into soda ash, refined, packaged, shipped across continents. until its origin is forgotten. It becomes part of soap, the substance that scrubs hands clean. It becomes detergent, dissolving stains in washing machines thousands of miles away. It becomes glass, the windows we look through every day without thinking. It becomes toothpaste, the grainy polish on the bristles we press to our teeth every morning. People who have never heard the name Lake Natron touch it with their hands, press it to their mouths, see the world through it. A lake that burns skin is also a lake that cleans it. A lake that preserves the dead, helps the living shine their teeth white. It reaches into homes that will never know it exists. A lake that burns. A lake that preserves. A lake that reaches quietly into ordinary homes across the world. But natron is fragile. If its chemistry is disrupted, if the water level shifts, if industrial extraction grows, if the volcano feeds too much or too little, the flamingos could lose the only safe breeding ground they have. Their survival depends on this exact balance. A balance that exists nowhere else. Here, life clings to the edge of the blade. Lake Natron is not just water, it is a boundary between life and death, between transformation and stillness, between movement and memory. It is a reminder that nature does not care about comfort, fairness, or gentleness. Life survives not because conditions are kind, but because it adapts to conditions that are not. And Lake Natron is only the beginning. Because there is another place, far away, hidden in the deep forests of Minnesota, where water does something no one can explain. A river flows, drops into a stone basin, and then vanishes. It does not come out on the other side. It does not reappear downstream. It simply disappears into the earth itself. Scientists have poured dye into the water. Nothing returned. They threw objects in. Gone. They used sensors. Silence. A waterfall that leads nowhere. It is called the Devil's Kettle, the place where a river disappears into darkness. If you want to follow that trail, like this video, subscribe, and step with me into the next mystery.